Okay, so you're gonna love this story. Eric and Don Jr. just completely melted down on live TV after getting called out for the Trump family's corruption. But instead of answering for the shady deals and White House grift that made them billions, they went on an unhinged rant claiming that the country owes them for everything that they've done. Stick around to see their wild outburst and just how much money the Trumps are really raking in. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Now, we all know that Donald Trump likes to flood the news with big flashy stories to try to cover up stuff that makes him look bad. In fact, he's been doing that for weeks to try to hide from the Epstein files. So this week, when he announced both a surprise meeting with Putin and the military takeover of Washington, D.C., it looked like he was doing more of the same. But with this bombshell new report, it's clear that Trump wasn't trying to hide from Epstein this week, he was actually trying to hide from accountability. You see, just this week, a new report from the New Yorker magazine analyzed just how much money Donald Trump has been making in his second term, and the number is absolutely staggering.
The Trump family's crypto firm announced a $1.5 billion digital coin deal, another investment in a venture that's already raked in millions for President Trump and his family. But crypto is just one of many ways the First family is making money. There are merch sales, a meme coin, social media platform, of course, real estate projects in the Middle East. It's a dizzying number of deals that leave a huge question. Quote, the number. How much is President Trump pocketing off the presidency? That is the title of the piece you see there in The New Yorker, where staff writer David Kirkpatrick tried to answer that question. And David joins me now. Thank you so much for being here. Did you get an answer to your question? What is the number?
I came up with the best answer I could at press time, and it was $3.4 billion. Astonishingly, it's probably gone up since then.
$3.4 billion. This number comes from things like Trump's businesses, his real estate, and his crypto, all of which he literally markets from the White House. Donald Trump has doubled his net worth since being elected last November. And I don't know about you, but I surely haven't gotten twice as rich in the past year. And unfortunately for the rest of America, we're actually starting to go backwards. Because according to Republican Don Bacon, his home state of Nebraska is being completely destroyed by Donald Trump's horrible economic policies. So much so that their GDP has actually decreased in the past year.
We need trade deals as fast as we can for Nebraska. We're an export state, and our corn and soybeans right now are being shut out of the market. And that's why Nebraska is on its heels right now. We've lost about 6% of our GDP, according to the economic numbers that are official. And that's not a good sign.
Donald Trump is getting richer by the day while his policies drain entire states' economies. Now, Trump has been avoiding this story all day, but his two genius sons couldn't handle everyone calling them scam artists and corrupt. Eric and Don Jr. decided to go on Fox News today and defend their family's grifting, but they quickly went from explaining their situation to straight up yelling at the Fox anchors and everyone watching. Eric started off by claiming that running a crypto business while your dad bans crypto regulation totally isn't shady at all. Eric also says that the family had to make presidential crypto because unfair banks wouldn't do business with them unless they could prove that they were paying taxes. And to me, that sounds like you just weren't paying your taxes.
I want to bring you to this, and all of you. Critics are saying, hey, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. The New Yorker, for example, says the number. How much is Trump pocketing off the presidency? Axios. President Trump and his family stand to net $3.4 billion by the end of the second term. David Kirkpatrick reports for the New Yorker in a piece today, the number of why it matters. No U.S. president has monetized the highest off in the land quite like this. Eric, your answer to those headlines.
Brian, it's infuriating. We had nowhere to go. Capital One stripped 300 bank accounts from me, 300 in the middle of the night. They sent us a letter after doing business for 20-something years. All your bank accounts for golf courses and condominium buildings and hotels, they're all gone in the middle of the night. I mean, how do you pay your taxes? How do you pay your employees? This happened across the board. It happened with J.P. Morgan Chase. It happened with Bank of America. It happened with First Republic. And this wasn't just happening to the Trumps, people with a lot of zeros on the end. This was happening to conservatives all over the country. We didn't have a damn choice. So before my father, won the election, before my father was in office, we started getting into cryptocurrency. The people in cryptocurrency were being debanked just like Trump was being debanked.
Right.
And you know what? It's become the fastest growing industry anywhere in the world. It's actually removed a lot of the power from the big banks who have weaponized their platforms against the American people, and I could not be more proud to be.
So Eric's excuse is that they had no choice but to start a billion-dollar cryptocurrency tied to the president's popularity. But is anyone actually buying that? Now, not to be outdone, Don Jr. then launches into his own insane take on this. He literally says that his dad deserves to make money and that people ought to feel bad for the Trump family because they had to pay so much in legal bills in the past. And before I roll the clip, I want to remind you that the Trump family had to hire so many lawyers because they stole government documents, colluded with Russia, launched a fake legal campaign to overturn the 2020 election, and also caused an insurrection to overthrow the government. But yeah, we should totally feel bad for Trump's family.
I don't notice them talking about the hundreds of millions of dollars we had to spend fighting lawfare. That doesn't matter, right? That was all nonsense, right? Russia, you name it. Impeachment 1, hoax 2, 3, 4, 5, infinity. No one talks about that. They weaponized the entire full force of the United States government against our family. And unlike all the other people who'd served as the presidency before, basically since our founding fathers, Trump was the only guy that was actually a businessman before that. Are we supposed to stop running our businesses? Are we supposed to stop doing anything? He's not involved in these things. We are running those businesses as we have. We came up with a solution to a very real problem.
Let's be clear. Don Jr.'s claim that Trump isn't involved is a total joke. While Americans struggle, Trump has been cashing in on watches, cologne, sneakers, and whatever else he can snap the family name on. And here's the deal. This isn't a family-run business, this is a full-on grift, and they're laughing while real Americans suffer. Donald Trump was hoping to end the week with productive talks with Russia and finally distracting from the Epstein case. But instead, his two sons just spent the morning showing us how desperate, greedy, and attention-hungry the entire Trump family really is. Trump probably wished his sons would have just kept quiet, almost as much as he wishes that he could keep hiding how much money he is making. But now that the word is out, be sure to help spread it by liking and sharing this video, so that every American will know just how Trump and his kids really feel about the rest of us.